After being purchased by Microsoft in 2002, most of Rare's Donkey Kong projects were put on ice. Donkey Kong Racing was cancelled, Diddy Kong Pilot was repurposed to Banjo Pilot after Nintendo was underwhelmed enough with the game to not want to fork over the DK license, and Donkey Kong Coconut Crackers was mercifully changed into It's Mr. Pants, making the world truly right for just one brief moment. But the one major collaboration that Rare and Nintendo still held was yearly remakes of Donkey Kong Country games on the GBA, introducing a new generation to the series that was quickly approaching its 10th birthday, adding new bells and whistles with each game. DKC1 had these weird photographs, cutscenes, a mode where you just beat the game as solo Diddy but his clothes are stained with mustard now, and this dancing game.
Look at me, I can dance so gracefully. Gotta have some rhythm just to make the scene.
Anyway, Donkey Kong Country 2 added a brand new boss, Kerosene, for the Kongs to face, as well as illegal ostrich races for Cranky Kong to indulge in, proving himself a true boomer with his love of sports betting. But Donkey Kong Country 3 was by far Rare's most ambitious remake. New models for every Brothers Bear, remixed level orders and adjusted level layouts, changes in physics and speed to play with the game's more puzzly elements, new minigames, a new soundtrack composed by David Wise who didn't get to score the SNES original. But most importantly, and impressively, an entire brand new world, Pacifica, was added to the game. 6 brand new Donkey Kong Country levels from the team that invented the series, 9 years after DKC3's release, 3 years after Rare and Nintendo's partnership ended, and with the future of the Donkey Kong series completely uncertain. This was a gift to help illuminate the stormy seas and save the heart of what Donkey Kong was really about. They're fine, I guess. That's not to say that the stages of Pacifica are uninteresting. There are certainly impressive aspects. Dingy Drain Pipe is the only sewer level in the game to not feature some gimmick that messes with your momentum, which ironically makes it novel that it simply mixes underwater and ground sections fairly fluidly. Sunken Spruce takes the hollowed tree level archetype and dunks it under a lake, creating a more vertically oriented underwater level than seen before in the DKC series. The claustrophobia of the tree trunks makes ascending and descending with the Kongs a very delicate process that makes for a uniquely tense level where you feel perilously close to making a mistake at every moment. And correcting that mistake is just going to make you lose Kitty anyway with his giant hitbox. Riptide Reef shows off just how miserable a water level can truly be by adding wind physics to it. It's horrifying and pretty great. Surf's Up gives us a toboggan level that's built around DKC3's slower auto-scroller pace, creating an incredibly enemy-rich environment and giving the game another minecart equivalent. That's nice, the original only had 2 of those.
Thank you!
Cliffside Blast. Okay, that one's actually pretty bad. It's really easy to get the buzzes off cycle from the barrel cannon, so you just get hit sometimes for hesitating. But DKC3 is really light on the barrel cannon stages, so the thought is nice. But it's Stormy Seas that shows off the feel of these stages the best. A remixed version of the Stilt Village backdrop that starts the game off, now with a cool nighttime storm effect. The stage plays with a player's expectations pretty well. You see, you expect there to be rewards on top of these little huts, so they're typically harder to reach areas that require the team throw and are guarded by buzzes. Yet there are no major rewards for scaling atop these. Bonus barrels are hidden under the wharfs, and coin is in plain sight at the level's end, where finally they need to use the team throw in order to get the barrel to kill the Gremling. If you sacrifice to Kong in the name of exploration,
Let's do it again!
On Guard is here for no real reason. You can just supercharge with him and then he'll hit a no on guard sign and evaporate. Really doesn't serve any particular purpose. The actual platforming sections are more mundane and less rhythmically constructed variations of what was seen in Creeping Clasps, and feature these explodey boys called... Okay, not gonna say that. Anyway, they were cut from the SNES version, but appear exclusively in this level, underneath huts where it's hard to jump on them. Combine all that with an almost excessive amount of enemy variety, and what is definitely the hardest bonus stage in the game, and you've got a level that is incredibly stop and go at all times, trying to interrupt your flow, making you flinch and getting you to make a mistake, and then taunting you with coin at the end. It feels like a stage that studies DKC3 and uses all of its resources to mess with the rhythm that all of the game's other stages have taught the player. It feels like a ROM hack stage. And that sentiment extends to the rest of the world's levels as well. Pacifica's stages all feel like they're tailor-made to tease DKC3's mechanics, getting a player to feel uncomfortable with and unsure of their surroundings, creating a palpable sense of anxiety just wandering around. Compared to the rest of the DKC series, it's certainly a unique feeling. Only stages like Windy Well and the Squawks portion of Animal Antics matching them in the same way, taking away a lot of fluidity and introducing constant elements of helplessness. Is this a good idea? I don't think jamming all of them into one world was a great move, but it's not like there was anywhere else to put them. Pacifica shows a classic symptom of game design, understanding a game so deeply that you begin to peel more and more at the surface of what made it good. Stick various objects into it to see how it ticks, and create something that is truly unique, but is also a bit ugly and fairly far from the reason you came to the game in the first place.
I must do better.
Studying what could make these stages better and understanding their shortcomings could have led to some truly excellent levels in the future. And that was Rare's plan, using all of the confidence they'd gained from remaking the DKC series to pitch Donkey Kong Country 4 to Nintendo, exclusively for handhelds. Pacifica was a proof of concept for what could be done with an entirely new Donkey Kong Country game. And Nintendo liked what they saw. The remakes of DKC sold incredibly well, especially compared to everything else DK was doing at the time. They sold too well. The Big N wanting DK's return to the country to be on console, so they passed up Rare, who could no longer follow them, to find a new home for the Big Ape. Donkey Kong Country 4 was gone, and all that remained of it fell to memory, deep beneath the waves.